Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Monifactory. All right, so here we are today, episode 37. And last episode, we were working on the micro miner, or at least we got the ship made at the very end, but also did some more chemical things. Today, I did do some things off camera, and let's see if I can show off everything. I did add a few more machines to our system here, and our hydrogen is doing good now. Of course, our reactors. Oh, that's another thing. I also limited these reactors so they're not always running, and we'll be able to keep naphtha in our system because we're going to need this eventually for gasoline and high octane and all that. I did add some more stuff in here. Oh, this is going to be for the ender air that we're going to need to be processing. Oh yeah, and I did add the wire mills like I said I would. These are handling 2 times, 4 times, 8 times, and 16 times with just the ingot to wire recipe now. So no more having to craft up, in the pattern wall. Beyond that, I'm trying to think. I did clear out some of the, maybe that was on camera yesterday. I probably forgot about that. I swear there was something else that I did. Oh, all right. I did make another ore processing setup here. So this is responsible for handling Certus quartz, and it's going to send the Certus quartz through a sifter here, and it should give like gems every now and then, which you saw there. And the gems will come into here, and they'll get cut down into the Certus quartz crystals. I still need to do an autoclave for the Certus quartz dust, but I think with the system that we have, we don't need to worry too much about that. We have 500 crystal quartz as it is now, and there's a whole lot more crushed Certus quartz to be processed. For some reason, that didn't go in. I think my filter got screwed up in the process. I'll have to go fix it later. Anyway, so yeah, we want to get back to the microverse stuff. And to do that, we're going to need to process all of the ender air. So I'm going to make a few pumps here. And do I have any? Okay, so we don't have any interfaces, so I'll get those crafted up. So with the ender air that we have here, we're going to centrifuge that, and we're going to get dioxide, which is whatever, and deuterium gas. Nitrogen dioxide. We should be already storing that. So if I'm not mistaken, dioxide. Yeah. So I will need to make a cell for the deuterium. So let's go ahead and get that going. Okay. So for the Microversium ingot, that is made with the steel and deuterium gas. And this could probably go in our main EBF because there's no circuit on it or no requirement. It should work all right. But let's see what happens. So we're not going to be able to craft this right now, of course. We need to get the deuterium in our system. And, oh, yeah, we're probably crafting some manner of thing, aluminum. Yeah, the phases and the pumps and whatnot. Okay, so let me do this. Let me pause right here, and I will be back in a minute. And then we'll take care of the setup with the deuterium, and we'll continue on with making the Microversium. Okay, back in a few. All right, everybody, we're back. So I got this thing set up here. Put the ender air inside. That should filter in, and there we go. It's going to take, oh, good Lord. Okay, it's going to take a little time. So is that going to fill up all the way? Looks like it is. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, so while that does that, do I not have I must have used up all the Zetal. I need to figure out how to do the stone cutter automation. I believe you can just put an interface on that, but I think last time I tried, I wasn't doing it right or something was weird. I'll try to fuss with it off camera. Okay. So that is almost done. We're going to get a whole bucket of deuterium. Now, is that how much goes into making a microverse ingot? 1/10 of a bucket. Okay, so that's not too bad. Okay, any second now, this should pop out. There we go. Okay, so now our fluid is in the system. EEUT. There we go. So let's craft us up some deuterium. So that should be pretty quick. Although I'm wondering, is the blast furnace functioning right now? It does appear to be. Oxygen. Oh, wait, is it making, it's making something else right now. There we go. And there's the gas. Cool. Okay. So it is doing steel at the same time. Might have to make a dedicated blast furnace for steel or something, or I've got to be making more blast furnaces. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, I'll just grab that while it's doing its thing. Did I went the wrong way. Yep. Okay. So that is our first Microversium ingot. So now that we have that, we're going to need the Microversium casings, right? And that is going to be plates in a 4-bender, right? I think. Oh, 6-bender. So let me put that in there so I don't forget. All right. And bender. Plate. There we go. Okay. So Microverse Projector is up next. This doesn't look like it's going to be too crazy. We are going to need a computer to monitor, and that, as far as I am concerned, is no big deal. No circuit assembler, and I believe this is just whatever. I did name my patterns, my little pattern providers. Okay, so we should be able to make that. Oh, and I did make this little tool right here, a pattern modifier. It's going to allow us to do a couple things. We can multiply the input and output of a pattern. You can, I've never seen replace before, but we can also clone. So I'm going to take these out of there. I'm going to borrow them for a bit. Okay, so Microverse. Let's see. We have the casing automated. I think that's really about it. There's this, and then, oh yeah, and then there's the diamond block and that great thing. So, okay, starry diamond. So like we covered last time, this is going to be a matter of a diamond block in an atomic reconstructor hit twice. So the atomic reconstructor, I am going to need to get a pattern provider upgrade. So let that cook up. We'll be right back and we'll get that upgraded. Alrighty-o, we got our pattern upgrade now. Let's go back to define the atomic reconstructor. I'm gonna get this bad boy upgraded. Oh, come on. Okay. Clicky, click, click. And we need to get the wrench out for a minute to reconnect EU. There we go. Okay. So that should be good. Let's get out of here. and go and get our request up. And that should be, yep, okay, good. So we got that now. We are gonna need, was it the vent? No, what was it called? Microverse. Oh, line grading. Okay, we're gonna be using this later on too, that's for sure. For assembly lines. Okay, so the Microverse, we're gonna need, I hope that isn't required to be IV, but I got a feeling it is. We might not be able to do this. I will have to check on that. OPV? I wonder what that is. EV, LEV, MV. It does sound like we can do MV. We'll find out. Okay, so we're gonna need 16 casings. We're gonna need 3 tempered glass and the rest. Okay. So casing 16. There's the Microverse. Great. I think it was one of those. Tempered glass, we're gonna need 3. Hatch, we're gonna need, let's see about making the muffler hatch MV. I'm hoping that this will work the way I hope. We'll see. And then we're going to need buses. So input, output. And I'm assuming we're also going to need a maintenance hatch. So let's get that requested up. Does not look like we need a maintenance hatch, which is great. Okay. We are going to need energy hatches, of course. Now, that being said, I am curious, how much power is this going to need? Okay, so it does need HV. So that's not too bad. So let me do this. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to wait for all of these things to craft up, and then I'm going to figure out where we can start putting these micro miners, because, well, we're going to be eventually needing a lot more space for these. They're small now, but they'll get bigger. And that's probably when I'll start doing things in the lower levels of this base, like digging down and making more room, which that will be a bigger project. So for the time being, I could just put it in this room and we'll make a better room for it later. So let's do that. I'm going to go and take a pause and we'll be back when everything is good to go. Okie dokie. I think we've got everything that we need. Famous last words, though. I'm sure I'll find something that I needed to pick up. I did expand the room a little bit during the break. So let's get to making this. So controller is out in front. Go figure. So I wonder... Oh, I didn't grab the star. I didn't grab the starry block. Star. Okay. I was going to say I could probably use the terminal to build this, but I want to do it by hand. So let's see. Microversium. I'm going to bookmark that. Okay. So it looks like the middle has the starry block. So we're going to put that there. And I forgot the glass. I really just need to get the water's terminal going. Okay. So again, back to this. There's only 3 sides and the rest are or the rest is the well, the rest, but the single other block is this thing. Okay. So I don't think we need the hatch. We're going to do input bus, output bus. And where's the input hatch go? Where'd it go? There you are. I'll say I'll put it there. Okay. I'm going to think about putting the muffler. Oh, wait a minute. Did we forget about a block? Okay, muffler hatch there. Wait, did I miscount how many blocks I need? Input hatch, output bus, input bus, hatch, energy hatch. Oh, did I forget the energy hatch? Of course I did. God, I'm so sorry. I am a forgetful person. Okay, well, that's crafting. Is there anything else that I want to tackle today? We do need to get into epoxy. I know that. And that's going to be a whole thing on its own. We're going to need to get Epichlorohydrin and Bisphenol going, which means we're going to need Allyl Chloride, and that's propene and chlorine. So I don't think any of that is going to be too difficult. We got chlorine for days. We got propene for days. And my body decided to give me hiccups again. Okay, that's what I get for recording after eating. Well, I say that, but I had food a couple hours ago and then had a drink recently. Not a alcoholic drink or anything, but a G Fuel. So I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, epoxy would allow us to get into the next circuit boards, which also lead into nanoprocessors, as well as other circuits. Wasn't there a microprocessor chip for the lower levels? Was there? Nano? Maybe it was this. There was some other chip I'm thinking of, though. That might have been the one I'm thinking about. Okay, so let me grab that. And let's get rid of these 2 blocks. And we'll get back some Microversium. And either it doesn't like that muffler hatch or I screwed up something somewhere else. I'm gonna guess it's the hatch. Three glass, starry diamond. It's probably the hatch, I'm guessing. But let me double check on something. And we're back. All right, so here is the microverse fully formed. It was just a matter of the muffler hatch needing to be in that specific spot. Okay, so now we have that. We could send off a ship, but I think we should start trying to work on the fluids. Oh, and I should probably get, well, I'll worry about that later. Rocket fuel. So we should have 100 buckets, which is good. Wait, why am I thinking? I'm sorry. I meant epoxy, not rocket fuel. So yes, we are needing to get some reactors going here. We have hypochlorous, so we're going to need Allyl Chloride. That's going to be 1 reactor. And then we're going to need this for another reactor, so that's 2. Bisphenol. I think we can make this right out without needing any other reaction, so that's going to be 3 reactors. So that doesn't seem too crazy. Now we have a butt ton of sodium hydroxide, so I'm not concerned about that. What I may do though is have the liquid epoxy recipe itself on demand, but passive everything before it. So passive the bisphenol and passive the epichlorohydrin. And the epoxy recipe will be put into our LCR that we made a while ago for on-demand crafts. Because, yeah, so like with this, for example, when we want carbon fibers, it will craft the epoxy and then it will send into here and we'll have leftovers. Or we'll make epoxy resin sheets or ingots or whatever. So we'll see how that pans out when we get that set up. And if I don't like it, then we'll go back to passiving the epoxy itself. But it shouldn't be that big a deal, ultimately. So that being said, I do have a tower over here. So let me go get some reactors then. I'll just get 3 more just in case. Let me get those going off camera. So if we do medium voltage, that's going to be 12 seconds per. Ultimately, not a big deal. 4 seconds for that. Bisphenol, 4 seconds for that. Yeah, not too big a deal. So yeah, I will go ahead and get some supplies going and we will come back and get to crafting epoxy finally. And then we can move forward into other fluids, other items rather, other circuits and whatnot. Okay, back in a few. Okay, we're back. So I got everything that we're going to need to set up this epoxy. I also have the fluid cell partitioned. So that should be good to go when we start sending fluid in and out. Okay, so I'm going to put another one here and another one up here. Let's start off with this one. So we're going to need a regulator and we're going to need a filter. Okay, so epoxy, going to need the epichlorohydrin there. We're going to wait. Oh, okay. So we also are going to need sodium hydroxide for this as well because we're not dealing with the glycerol. Screw the glycerol. But first, though, we need the Allyl Chloride. So let's get that bookmarked. Okay, so we're going to need propene and 2 parts chlorine. And I closed out of that window by accident. Okay. Propene and chlorine. Keep exact 2 and 1. Chlorine and propene. There we go. And that's going to need a circuit of Uno. Okay, so Allyl Chloride. We're going to want to control how much we make. So we'll say, I don't know, 32 buckets. We are going to eject and allow. And there we go. So that's 1 fluid down. Next, import. So the Allyl Chloride, we're going to need the Allyl Chloride and the hypochlorous. That's a 1-to-1 ratio. We're also going to need to supply some hydrogen, sodium hydroxide. So Allyl Chloride and hypochlorous. Oop, hello? Allyl Chloride and hypochlorous. I think we had this on stock. If not, I'll have to get that fixed. Okay. Oops, not that. Boop. Good. And the Allyl Chloride. Boop. So that should be good. I am going to need to get a robot arm. And an LV one will do. I don't need to fuss with the medium voltage. Okay. So we're going to come back over here and put that there. And on this side, we're going to say import keep exact 3 sodium hydroxide. And there we go. Maybe we'll change that to move 3 at a time. Okay, so there we got some salt water back, and there's the Epichlorohydrin. So let's get a controller on you, set that up. Okay. Epichlorohydrin, same as before, 32 buckets. Eject. And there we go. We're good to go. Emit when those are above. Okay. Now we're going to need the bisphenol, or yeah, I guess bisphenol. That's going to need considerably more fluid. We're going to need phenol, acetone, and hypochloric acid. And we get diluted hydrochloric back. Okay, so I guess I'll keep it familiar and have it on the same side as before. So boop, boop, import. Okay, so bisphenol, you're going to need 1 part acetone and hydrochloric. And if I'm not mistaken, the acetone we're making passively right now. And the phenol, of course. Nope, not that. There we go. So keep exact, and that's 2, 1, and 1. Okay, so phenol, hydrochloric, and acetone. There we go. And the bisphenol is going to need a circuit of Uno. And then in here, we put the bisphenol and 32. All right, that's off to the races. Now, I don't know for sure if I'm handling the diluted hydrochloric or not, but we'll find out. I am not. Okay, so I can just get a distiller for this and we'll take care of that later. Now for the epoxy. Oh yeah, and I did figure out that you can encode it simply in here and you don't need like a stone table or anything. You just put it in a pattern wall. Okay, so large chemical reactor. And we'll get rid of that. And let's see, LCR. I should have put the epoxy partition on the drive and bisphenol. Did I forget something? Oh wait, did we just not have enough bisphenol for what I wanted? I missed you one. Okay, we do. We can make it. There we go. Let me get a bucket. I do have this automated in a bender, I believe. There we go. Epoxy bucket. Okay. Let's go back over here, put that in there. Okay, so with epoxy now, we're going to want, check mark that. It won't let us check mark it. Can I get an epichlorohydrin bucket? Okay, that makes it happy, I suppose. Allyl Chloride. Check mark. Okay, naphtha. Do I not have a bucket? There we go. There we go. It's okay, never mind. Let's just get this. So we're gonna want sheets. So epoxy sheet. Epoxy sheet. Solidifier. Bada boom. And there we go. I'll have to figure out and see if I can't get this all checked off. Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe I need to grab sodium hydroxide. There we go. Okay. Excuse me. That is awesome. Now we can make the epoxy substrate. We're going to need chloride for that, or the prosulfate. What's our chloride at? Do we have chloride stocked? We technically do. So let me see about getting the epoxy board automated before we cut out. So there's the epoxy, there's a gold foil, and then there's going to be this. We want the chloride, and oh, come on, LCR. Let's see if we can request that. Nope, not that. Okay, we need gold foil and electrum foil. Electrum foil and gold foil. Epoxy. Hey, there we go. So that ideally should cook up right quick. Come on. Any second now. Sweet. Epoxy substrate. All right, baby. Let me grab that. So that opens the way for T3 circuits. But we're also going to need to get into the carbon fiber next episode and the nano CPU chips. And beyond that, SMD transistor, nano CPU. We're going to need to get glowstone, and we're going to need EV chemical reactor. So we'll probably have to get into EV machine holes too. But we'll figure things out. That being said, this has been an episode. If you like what you saw here today, please leave a like or comment down below. And I will see you all in the next one. Ta-ta for now.